Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping right into uh, a big one for English learners, vocabulary. It can feel like this huge mountain of words to climb, right?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling. It's pretty common, that sense of being overwhelmed by just how many words there are.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to give you some, well, simple, real-life ways to grow your vocabulary, naturally as part of your day. Forget the endless rote memorization, those boring lists.
Yeah, that's the big shift, isn't it? Making vocabulary building less like homework and more, well, organic. Something that just happens as you go about your life.
And we've looked at some great material focused on exactly that, practical tips for finding and learning words out in the real world.
Which is, I think, really empowering. It puts you in charge. You're not just trying to catch up, you're actively discovering the language all around you.
Okay, so let's dive in then. First off, why does having a good vocabulary, matter so much?
Well, think of words as the actual building blocks. They're the foundation for everything else in English. Without enough words, understanding what you read or hear, and even saying what you mean clearly, it's just much harder.
Right. It's like trying to cook an amazing meal with just, I don't know, salt and pepper. You can make something, but it won't have much depth or flavor.
That's a great way to put it. A bigger vocabulary is like having more tools in your toolbox. It helps you understand better, speak and write more precisely, and honestly, feel more natural and confident using English.
Yeah, the more words you have, the better you can grasp those little differences in meaning and say exactly what you're thinking. Just makes the whole language experience richer.
And it lets you go beyond just sort of basic information exchange. You can connect more deeply, understand sarcasm, humor, all that subtle stuff.
Okay, so we definitely need those tools. Where do we start finding them? One really practical idea is just paying more attention, noticing the English that's already around us.
hmm This is a really fundamental change in mindset for a lot of learners. Actively looking for English, even if you're not in, say, London or New York. English is everywhere.
It really is. Like, think about the supermarket. Even if most signs are in another language, look at the packaging. So much English on there.
Exactly. You see words like, organic, no added sugar, maybe freshly baked,
Yeah.
or even simple instructions like store in a cool, dry place. These are small, everyday opportunities.
And the tip is so simple. Use your phone. Snap a picture of a label or a sign you don't understand. Then you can look up the words later when you have a minute.
And the great thing is, that vocabulary is instantly relevant to your life. You saw it doing
Yeah.
something real, like buying groceries. It sticks better.
Okay, another good one. Watching streaming shows with English subtitles. Lots of people do this already.
Right, but the suggestion is to be a bit more active. When you hear or see a word you don't know, pause it. Don't just let the subtitle fly by. Take a second. Think, okay, what does that mean here? How are they using it? Could I use it like that?
So it's less passive watching, more active engagement with the language itself. And this applies to social media too, right? YouTube comments, memes.
Oh, definitely. That's where you find loads of current, everyday English, slang, informal stuff, how people actually talk online right now. It's a gold mine for modern usage.
It seems like the main thread here is just being curious, like treating each new word as a little mystery to solve.
That's a brilliant way to think about it. Curiosity changes it from a chore into, well, an exploration. You want to figure it out.
Okay, so we're noticing words, we're curious, but how do we make sure we actually remember them? The idea of a vocabulary notebook or journal came up a lot.
Yes, this is crucial for making those words stick. Just seeing a word once or twice often isn't enough. You need to do something with it. Writing it down is a powerful first step.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. A simple paper notebook works, or a notes app, or maybe flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet, whatever works for you.
The format isn't really the most important part. It's how you record the word. And the suggested method is really quite detailed.
Right. It's way more than just word plus definition. Let's use an example. Say the word is confused. So first you write the word, confused.
Then the meaning. But try to put it in your own words, like not sure what's happening or can't understand something. Make it personal.
Good point. Then create your sentence. Maybe I was confused in math class today. Something real for you.
And you could add a translation in your own language if that helps, especially at the start.
And then visuals. Add a picture or emoji. For confused, maybe that thinking face emoji.
Yeah, or a little doodle. And then, this is a good one, an example from life. A specific time you felt that way. I felt confused when I watched that English movie without subtitles.
Wow, okay. So you're connecting the word to its meaning. your own sentence, maybe a translation, an image, and a personal memory or feeling.
Exactly. You're hitting it from multiple angles, engaging different parts of your brain. It moves from being abstract information to something tangible and relevant to you. Much stickier.
Okay, noticing, recording effectively. What about this idea of learning vocabulary in context? What does that mean practically?
It means understanding words based on how they're actually used in real sentences and situations, not just from a dictionary definition alone, seeing them in action.
Okay, like the example starving.
Yeah.
The definition is very hungry.
Right. But hearing someone say, I haven't eaten all day, I'm starving, gives you so much more. You feel the exaggeration, the intensity. It's not just very hungry. It's really, really hungry.
Ah, I see. It paints a clearer picture. So the advice is to really listen when watching English TV or YouTubers or even TikToks.
Yes, because that's where you hear natural speech. You hear how words fit together, the intonation people use, the situations they use them in. It's authentic language.
And you pick up common phrases that way too, right? Things where the meaning isn't obvious just from the words themselves.
Totally. Like, no way, meaning, I don't believe it. Or maybe, hang on, which just means, wait a moment.
Or that's nuts for that's crazy.
Yep. Exactly those kinds of things. They make your English sound much more natural, and the tip is to actually write down the whole sentence you heard.
And maybe even practice saying it yourself.
Listen, write, speak. It helps you internalize the rhythm and flow, and honestly, it's often more fun and memorable than just drilling word lists. You're learning real communication.
Okay, finding words, recording them well, understanding context. What's the absolute crucial next step to make them ours? Using them right away seems key.
It really, really is. This is where the learning truly cements itself. You know the phrase use it or lose it? It definitely applies to vocabulary. If you learn a word but don't try to use it soon, your brain is much more likely to just let it fade away.
Makes sense. Like learning to play guitar. You can watch tutorials all day, but until you actually try to play a chord.
Precisely. You have to activate the knowledge. And the suggestions for doing this are quite straightforward.
Yeah, like setting a small goal. Try to use maybe 3 new words in a sentence sometime today. Or write a quick paragraph using 5 new words. Even just texting a friend using the word or saying it out loud to yourself a few times. Little actions.
These little acts of retrieval and production strengthen the pathways in your brain. The more you pull that word out and use it, the more accessible it becomes.
The example was good too. Learn the word exhausted. Instead of just saying I'm tired, consciously choose to say, wow, I'm exhausted after work today.
Yes, that deliberate swap. Using the new word in a situation where you might normally use a simpler one. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use that new word, the stronger your connection to it becomes.
Okay, another interesting strategy. Grouping words together by topic. Why is that helpful?
Well, our brains naturally like to organize information and see connections. Learning words and related groups or themes taps into that. It makes things easier to recall because the words are linked.
Like learning words related to the weather. Sunny, cloudy, rainy, stormy, foggy.
Exactly, and you can see how they naturally fit together. This morning was foggy, but now it's sunny. They say it might rain later, though. You're learning a cluster of useful, related terms.
Instead of just random words. So other topics could be like emotions, happy, nervous, excited, bored.
Or travel.
Yeah.
Airport, luggage, passport, flight, ticket. Or cooking. Boil, fry, bake, grill, chop.
Yeah, you build up vocabulary for specific situations you might actually talk about.
Precisely. It helps you become more fluent when discussing certain topics because you have that related vocabulary ready to go.
And using mind maps or drawings to show the connections within a topic. That sounds useful too.
Definitely. Visual aids can really help solidify those connections in your mind. Anything that links the words together meaningfully.
Right, so we're noticing, recording, learning in context, using immediately, grouping thematically. What's another way to weave this into daily life?
Simply connecting English directly to your own routines and actions, making it part of what you already do.
So you mean like describing your morning routine, but in English?
As you're doing it. Even if you just whisper it to yourself. Okay, I wake up at 7 a.m. Now I brush my teeth. I'm taking a shower.
Huh, okay. Talking to yourself in English.
It sounds a bit funny, maybe, but it's incredibly effective. It trains your brain to start thinking in English, linking the words directly to the actions.
So if you're cooking, you might think or say, I'm slicing the vegetables now. Okay, now I'm boiling the water.
Exactly. Or at work. I need to send this email. I have a meeting at 3 o'clock. You're narrating your life in English.
Your daily life becomes the classroom, basically.
That's a perfect way to put it. It makes learning continuous and context-rich.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground on learning words. But what about keeping them? What's the final vital piece for long-term retention? Review seems critical.
Review is non-negotiable, really. It's how you consolidate everything, looking back at the words you've learned so they don't just slip away.
And it doesn't have to be hours, right? The suggestion was even just like 5 minutes a day.
Absolutely. Short, frequent review is much more effective than one massive session once a week. Just quickly read through your vocabulary notebook. Try writing a few new sentences with recent words. Quiz yourself quickly.
Oh, I like the idea of trying to teach the words to someone else.
Yes, that's a fantastic way to test your own understanding. If you can explain it clearly, you've probably got it.
So it's really a cycle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Learn, use, review, grow. It's not a one-and-done thing.
Exactly. It's an ongoing process. Consistent review turns those words you encountered into words you truly own and can use confidently.
Well, that wraps up our deep dive into building English vocabulary more naturally. It really comes down to being observant, engaging actively, using words in context, and reviewing regularly.
And remembering not to aim too high initially. Don't try to learn 50 words a day. Consistency is key.
Right. That point about even just 3 to 5 words a day adding up to over 1,000 words a year, that's quite motivating, isn't it?
It shows how steady effort pays off. So just keep your eyes and ears open. Keep listening. Keep noting things down. Keep trying to speak.
You really are building your vocabulary and building your confidence in English, just one word at a time. Thanks so much for joining us on this.
My pleasure. It's an important topic.
And for you listening, here's a final thought to take away. Think about one new English word you came across today, maybe even from our chat just now. Tomorrow, try to consciously use that word in 3 different ways. Maybe think it in a sentence, say it out loud, or even use it with someone if you can. Just see how it feels to actively bring that word into your world.